Welcome students, welcome to this fourth series of project management lectures. So in this lecture, we are going to introduce about a new technique called PERT technique, Program Evaluation and Review Technique. So first, we will try to introduce the PERT concept. What is PERT? We will also look into the method. What is the methodology to solve the PERT problems? And we will look into the example of a PERT technique. And finally, we will look into the pros and cons or disadvantages and advantages of PERT technique. So let's start. So what is PERT? PERT is, the full form is Program Evaluation and Review Technique, or you can say Project Evaluation and Review Technique. So what is the benefit? Again, similar to the CPM, where you look into the control areas where you can control the duration of the project, different activities, completion time. You want to look into so that you can control the project duration time, right? You can plan ahead of the project. So first of all, if you see here, we can easily define the projects, right? The planner can easily define the project based on the activities. Now, based on whatever the estimates are there, normal estimates of activities which are given, you can easily predict the project duration time. Even if there are delays in the project, then we can also estimate in what duration the project can complete if there are any delays. Also, you can evaluate whatever resources are there, you are using them into the project. Those resources can be evaluated with the help of PERT. Now, what are the steps? We already discussed in critical path method, and similar steps are there here in PERT as well. So first of all, we try to define the project here, and second step here, if you want to relationships, we have definitions of relationships beforehand. Here, why? Because if we have the relationships of activities, we can arrange them in a logical sequence, and based on that, we can draw the network diagram. Clear? After that, what we can do, once we build the network diagram, we try to find out the time estimate. We put the time estimates and then try to find out the critical path. Right? Here, in case of PERT, we try to estimate the completion time because we don't have the precise time before. And finally, with the help of these time estimates, we can plan accordingly for the project. Right? So these are common steps we already discussed in CPM as well. Now let's look into the terminology. What are the different time estimates involved in the PERT technology? So first and foremost thing is optimistic time. So what do we mean by optimistic time? It is the shortest possible time to complete an activity, right? You can say optimistic way of thinking when the activity is going on. Exactly opposite way is the pessimistic, right? Pessimistic in worst and worst conditions when in maximum delays are happening, and then when you are completing the activity, that time is nothing but the pessimistic time, which is denoted by T, and optimistic time is denoted by T. In case of most likely time, it is the normal delay. Let's say, for example, it is almost like you can say that if considered normal delays, what will be the completion time of the activity? That is nothing but the most likely time. Another one is expected time, which is nothing but the average of all three, right? And the formula is given by TO plus 4TM plus TP upon 6. Now, what is TO? Optimistic time. TM is most likely time, and TP is the pessimistic time. Remember this formula so that you can easily incorporate this formula into the examples whenever they are asked. Then we have variance. What is the variance here? Variance of an activity. So the spread of an activity is nothing but the sigma square. What is sigma here? Standard deviation. Sigma square, standard deviation square is the variance, is equal to TP minus TO upon 6 whole bracket square. Now when at the end we also find out the Z score, which is nothing but the probability when the project is going to complete within a given deadline or within a given duration. And that formula is given by Z equal to X minus TP, or you can say TE, estimated time, upon sigma. Now what is this sigma? Sigma is standard deviation of activities on the critical path. We will calculate. And E, X, here X is the target project duration completion time, you can say. Right? It will be given beforehand. But you can decide, if we want to decide that when it is going to complete, and estimated is based on the expected project duration, that is EE. And based on this, we will find out the Z score. We will compare the Z score. We will look into the Z score in a Z score table, and from there we will get the probability, right? Probability to complete the given project. Now let's look into an example to understand these concepts in detail. So first, this example, the activities are given here: TOT, optimistic time, most likely time, and pessimistic time is given, right? And their predecessor and successor activities are given. Based on that, we have to find out the project duration, expected project duration, and variance as well. If the company wants to decide that can we know what is the probability that the project can be completed within 11 weeks? So we will try to find out all these criteria. So first of all, what we will do, we will based on this given data, we will try to draw the network diagram. So how do you draw the network diagram? If you see here, A and B has no predecessor. So A and B has no predecessor. Clear? Now C and D has A, that is the predecessor. So C and D outgoing arrows has A as a predecessor. E has B. When E starts, B completes. And for F, it is C. For F here, it is when the C completes. For G, it is D and E. For G, it is D and E. Now both F and G completes at 6 nodes. Okay, so in this way, we can prepare the network diagram. So what is the next step? Based on this network diagram, we will try to find out the critical path. So here, if you see, we have time given. Based on this time, we will try to find out the expected time, which is the formula. What is the formula here? A plus 4m plus B upon 6. Right? So we have got the estimated time, or you can say the expected time. So based on expected time for each and every activity, we will look into the network diagram and find out the critical path. So previously we have already calculated the network diagram. Based on network diagram, we calculated LFT and EST of each activity, each event. And then we looked into forward pass and backward pass. We calculated the critical path. So here, same way, we have calculated the critical path of the activities. So what is the expected time coming up here? If you see here, ET and LT, latest time and earliest time, that is coming out to be 13 weeks. So we have found out the expected time is 13 weeks. And what is the critical path here? If you look carefully here, from 0, 0 to here 2, that is 4 and 4. Clear? Then you have this path A, B, it is 11, 11 here, equal, right? EST and LFT. And from there, this G activity, it ends here at 13, 13, that is ET and LT. So what is the critical path here? A, D and G. Those are the activities which are involved in the critical path. So those are the critical activities. Now, based on the activities and expected time, what we can calculate? We can calculate the standard deviation. So how do you calculate standard deviation? Just put the formulas B minus A upon 6. You already know B and A from the estimates, time estimates given in the given data, right? Just put the values and divide it by 6. You get the standard deviation. Now, what is variance here? Just square them up and you will get the variance. So what is the variance? Variance is the square of standard deviation. So 4 by 3 square is 16 by 9. 1 by 3 square is 1 by 9 and according. So we got the variance as well. So what is the next step? So what are the critical activities we have found? The critical activities are A, D and G. Right? So we will try to calculate the variance of those. We have already calculated. We will just summarize them. So here the variance for them is 16 by 9, 25 by 9 and 1. Now, summation, if you try to do the summation of these, you will get the 50 by 9. Right? If you do the square root, you will get the standard deviation of critical activities. So do the square root and then you will get the 2.357, which is the standard deviation of critical activities found on the critical path. Clear? So in this way you can find out the standard deviation. So where it is needed? It is needed to find out the Z score. So what is Z score here? Let's look into it. Now, company wants to know if the project can be completed in 11 weeks. So we have the target weeks as well. X is equal to 11. Now what is the expected time? Expected time is 13. The project completion time is 13, right? And we have already calculated the standard deviation of the critical path, which is coming out to be 2.37. So just put the values into the equation here for the Z score and we get the Z score, right? So Z square 11 minus 13 upon 2.357 is coming out to be minus 0.85, right? So how do you look into the Z score table with the help of this? So based on the given data, so we will from minus 0.85, if you look into the normal distribution table, that is the standard normal distribution table, for minus 0.85 it is coming out to be 0.8, but you have to subtract it from 1 because it is negative sign, right? So 1 minus 0.80, this is coming out to be 0.1977. That is nothing but the probability that the project will be completed within 11 weeks. So what is 0.19? It is roughly around 20%, right? Roughly 20% chances are there the project will be completed within the 11 weeks. But the normal project duration is coming out to be 13 weeks. So in this way we can solve the examples of PERT. Initially what we did, based on the time estimates we found out the expected time, and from expected time we draw the network diagram on the predecessor and successor activities. We put the values, and finally we calculated the Z score based on the critical path standard deviation and expected and whatever the target project duration time. Clear? So let's look into the final topic. What are the advantages of this kind of technique? Again, what are the advantages of a project management as a whole? Are also definitely the advantage of PERT technique is a subset of a project management technique. So first and foremost is the management. People, they can plan beforehand when the project is going to complete, what resources are going to be used, when will be the delays, what are the costs. But here if you see, it is a forward looking tool, right? Whenever you plan for the events, it will help. So who is responsible for the team management? They will come to know what resources required for the completion of the project, right? But if you look into the disadvantages, means if you see here, the cost factor is literally neglected, right? If you see here, emphasis is on time only, but not on the cost, right? Specifically in this technique, PERT technique. Again, it is purely based on time estimates, probabilistic time. So if you have failed to get the proper estimates of time for the activities, it is difficult to get the accurate picture of the project duration or project duration. It is definitely, as a consequence, very difficult to decide when the project is going to come. So here are the pros and cons of PERT, right? This way we can solve the, but we started with introduction of PERT. We looked into the terminologies and we solved an example based on PERT technique, and we also summarized the disadvantages and advantages of PERT technique. Thank you.